shocked.
What's up, Crackle Addicts? I'm Lupine Fiasco, this is Daily Fab Gameplay, and I am back from my first ProQuest of the season. After staying home last week, I put myself together to take the short walk from my house over to Final Cut TCG in Sacramento, California, to play some classic Constructed. Here's the meta breakdown for the 25-player event, as well as the top 8 heroes and their conversion rates. The Lone Aurora, yours truly, topped the list with a 100% top 8 conversion, but Enigma had the greatest density of top 8 converts as the only hero to show up twice in the bracket. Finally, Viserai was the big winner, piloted by community sweetheart Majin Bay. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know my MO for tournament reports is to write notes after each game to recap here, but this time I tried something new. You're about to watch a series of video recaps recorded after each game. My thoughts and impressions are fresh, accurate, and, for better or worse, genuine. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this style of tournament report or the pre-written style that I've used in the past. After you do that, be sure to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and join my Discord. And if you want access to my Aurora sideboard guide and bonus content, be sure to check out my Patreon. Links to all of those socials are in the description of this video. And stick around after the tournament report, or skip ahead using the video chapters, if you're interested in a mini deck tech where I'll review the changes I've made to my list since my Calling Leon recap. Enjoy! What's up, fam? I'm here at Final Cut TCG, playing the ProQuest, representing Team Metal Fab. Checking in, reporting I am 1-0 with Aurora Shooting Star. You know I got a player girl. First match was against Oscilio. I think I've played it 3 times total, and lost the die roll, went first, pushed 10 points of damage total, got 4 over, and from there just kept applying pressure. Oscilio did Oscilio things, played Aether Spindle for 7, opted 3 to the bottom, kept 4 on top, spindled again on the next turn, but just had a very solid, 22 damage, 5 card hand. Kept with the pressure. Oscilio, never really recovered from that. Lesson from that game was block with your armor against Oscilio kind of as soon as you can. To my understanding, there are no on-hits. There's no snatch. There's no, I don't know what else lightning would even do. There's no burn up in Oscilio. But don't die with armor. Oscilio's plan to kill you is going to be a big surged spell. And if you've been holding your armor because you wanted to block out whatever the on-hit was, it isn't coming. My big tech piece in this match was Balance of Justice. I never broke it because I was very far ahead, and Oscilio did not get to do aura bouncing, but I think balance is the call. So we'll check in next round. What's up, Crackle Addict? It's Lupine Fiasco. We just finished round 2. This was another win against Dash IE. Really close game. Hanabi Blaster Dash, very dependent on the die roll, which I won. I got to go second. Dash did get 5 damage over blocks on turn 0, but just sending 3 boost into a hand that was Electrostatic Discharge, Electromagnetic Somersault, Blink, and Snatch. So I did get to block 4 and make an embodiment on turn 0, which did set me up to push pretty good damage on turn 1. I arsenaled an Arc Lightning. The next hand drew Flicker Wisp. I wasn't 100% on bringing in combo. It is a hedge against Slab Dash or Count Your Blessings Dash. I don't think that's going to be very common, but it is the sort of thing where I can just board out 3 burn-ups, board in Flicker Wisp, run the other 60 and aggro race armor, and just have an out against Slab Dash that also happens to work pretty well against Dash IE if she doesn't blow me up. This one I did get lucky, draw the combo on turn 3. I won the game with 3 life and no armor. Dash's response to the Flicker Wisp was, I think, a 25 damage, 5 card max V turn, so really strong. We did just happen to get there. The deck was consistent enough that I was able to apply constant pressure. E-Strike draw with a Snapdragon found me 4 more points of damage on a turn where I really needed it. And Dash was just a turn behind. Again, speaking of that, turn 0 win on the die roll. So going strong into round 3. This is a 5-round event, so winning 1 more should put me in top 8, but we're gonna try to win them all. You know it. Woof. 2-1. Just lost to a Kayo. I mean, it was a short game, right? 5 turns, maybe 6. Started out losing the die roll and had to go first, which was pretty impactful. I got to set up an embodiment of lightning. I allowed a little filtering, which was maybe not correct. It was a tough call. I had a Gone in a Flash in my hand and knew there was a blink on top of my deck. So it was between pitching Gone in a Flash to make an embodiment of lightning, or I guess I could have pitched Sigil of Suffering to make embodiment. I wanted to Arsenal the Sigil, but in hindsight, knowing there was at least a blink on top of my deck, maybe I should have pitched Sigil to make embodiment of lightning, Arsenal Gone in a Flash, and then at least be able to forego again, blink, bank 2 action points, potentially push some damage. Playing to the Gone in a Flash was probably better than playing to Sigil of Suffering. A few other things went wrong. I never saw a Channel Lightning Valley. I did see 3 burn-ups, so Channel Lightning on the board would have been massively impactful. An 8-power Weakest Link took a Lightning Press out of my hand on a turn where I would have been able to burn up, bait Flesh Bag, and then press the attack over the top. So that was really, really bad timing for me. I played 1 Arc Lightning, which was kind of medium, decent Arc Lightning turn, but got smacked with a just a solid Blood Rush turn to die. And except for the 8-power Weakest Link, my KO never went fewer than 3 Chain Links in a turn. So overall, losing the die roll, massively important. Not that I would have expected any different. I kind of have to take that karma after winning my Dash game because I won the die roll. But outside of that, I misplayed a bit. Following that Weakest Link, I could have blocked with Burn Up and then just played a 2-card 8 with Entwine Lightning fusing Second Strike and asking Kayo if he wants to give me Flesh Bag or cards from hand, or just deal 8 damage and keep an Arc Lightning in arsenal. But overall, die roll was huge. Draw variance was pretty impactful. If the Arc Lightning was a Channel Lightning Valley, I'd probably win that game. I don't know that I learned anything necessarily, but we take our losses. So on to round 3, got to get some wins. Whew. Okay, we are 4-1. We're locked for top 8. We played against Arakni in round 4, so that's why I'm doing a doubleheader report here. That was a super close game. So I guess it was like aggro Arakni. Our local Prism player decided to switch today, and the Assassin matchup feels fine for Aurora. A lot of the time it's like what you would expect for any aggro mirror, or any aggro matchup. How well does their disruption line up against our big turn? I cannot, in good conscience, flicker combo because of the disruption. So I'm just playing straight up Aurora and doing pretty well. We get a double Lightning Press over the top of no blocks and take Arakni down to 17, and we're at 27, and we're feeling okay about it. And Arakni fires off Bonds of Agony, Justinic, boots to give it go again. So we take 14. We have to play Channel Lightning Valley from hand so it doesn't get taken with the other 2 in our deck, which means we lose our Flittering Charge, and our hand is now Entwine Lightning, Arcanic Shockwave. And Arakni follows this with Codex CNC. So we have Sigil of Solace in our arsenal. We don't have to discard to Codex, and then we get to gain 3 life instead of having to defend our arsenal. But just set us back. At that point, the game is still really close, so it isn't like, we're gone, and we end up winning the game after that. A double Arc Lightning turn with Gone in a Flash and Snatch gets totally stuffed, but it does take every card out of Arakni's hand and gives us some space to try to find a way out. which we eventually do. We end up pitching a bunch of blues. We have 10 cards left in our deck, and then we just happen to flip a red with Ravenous Rabble that triggers a burn up and gets us the win. Surprisingly, the next 6 cards in my deck are all reds, or like Lightning Surge, Electrostatic Discharge, Lightning Press, Channel Lightning Valley. So like, hey, we have an actual real turn if we draw this. So it's really interesting, but we did get there. Round 5 is against another Oscilio. This is my good buddy Steven, always playing the Dark Horses. Much closer than round 1 Oscilio, but still just got there. Sent big damage, efficient turns, got over blocks. The big turning point was we both drew abysmal opening hands. My opening hand, and I lost the die roll, so I go first. My opening hand is Blink, Lightning Press, Electrostatic Discharge, Channel Lightning Valley. And so my setup is play Channel Lightning, pitch Blink, and Electrostatic to make Rune Chant, Embodiment, Arsenal, Press. The hand I draw next is Press, Channel Lightning, E-Strike. Like, what? I shuffled. We send E-Strike for draw a card. It gets go again because of the embodiment. And we end up sending 3 presses. So E-Strike for 14 go again. Oscilio didn't block with Balance of Justice, expecting there to be a follow-up, and I never gave him another opportunity. Never drew 2 cards in a turn again. And that just set the tone of the game. After that, draws lined up, we actually started drawing attacks and being able to convert large hands. And so we're 4-1, we're locked for top 8. We'll see what that looks like. At this point, it looks like Viserai, 2 Enigmas, a Zen, myself, and Aurora, and then, you know, possibly new, possibly Oscilio, possibly another Viserai, possibly Kayo. A lot of options, but excited to have made it, and we'll see what happens next. What's up, Renegades? Clutched it out in top 8. We beat Zen. It was a close game. I chose to go second, and like immediately got punished because Zen transcended on turn 0, then on turn 1, and again later in the game. So 3 transcends. Kayo was alive for 2 of them. I felt like I tried to scrap for a little bit. A turning point in the game was choosing to give up a 5-card, 18 damage Arc Lightning turn to bait my opponent into breaking both of his Zephyr Needles on the 3 blocks I had in my hand, and then my return was just Lightning Surge for 4, Sigil of Solace gain 3. So that was the first big turning point in the game. I eventually put a double Arc Lightning turn together after that, which got stuffed by the Kayo activation. My opponent just naturally had the Chi, and the Kayo was huge. I've never played against Zen State, and it is massively impactful. It prevented 5 damage on the Arc Lightning turn, it prevented 3 damage on the follow-up turn, but more important than that, the hand I drew into following the Zen State creation was Burn Up, Channel Lightning, Electrostatic Discharge. So if I can deal 1 point of Arcane, I play double Channel Lightning, play Burn Up, draw 2 cards, have a 6-card hand on my next turn. And instead Zen State says no, and Zen has broken Traverse, is firing off with 4 cards, and I don't block. So we had to scrap for a while, and eventually we managed to slow Zen down. Zen not having the Zephyr Needles is massively impactful. I started finding these Sigils of Suffering that are keeping me alive, dealing damage. I put a Gone in a Flash loop together with Snapdragons and Sigil of Solace, so I deal extra damage in the turn. I keep myself alive, and the turn that we win, Zen attacks us with a Race Face. We go down to 3 after blocking with 2 pieces of armor. My hand is Channel Lightning Valley, Snatch, and Twine Lightning Blink. So I can't, like, I can stop the Erase Phase, but then I don't have an attack. I'm at 7 at this point. Zen would be at 4. I can't kill him. So we take the Erase Phase, we play Snatch. We get 2 cards out of Zen to block it. We play Blink to make an action point, play Entwine Lightning, and Zen has a Chi and an instant. And so we end up taking the win. Super close game, really great opponent, really skillful. It was his first top 8, and played a mean Zen. I feel like that game could have been a lot different. He ended up pitching a red at some point. If that red was a blue, he wins the game. If he holds a needle back, he wins the game. There was a sword that attacked after the Zen state came down. Zen didn't block it. I channel Lightning to get 1 point over and draw a card. If Zen had blocked with the pouncing paws, that draw doesn't happen, and it's a different game. But super close, super tight. And now we are playing against Steven Leva on Oscilio, my round 5 opponent from Swiss. I'm going second. He's back with a vengeance. Let's go see what happens. We got these Oscilio brewers. They're up to something. They're cooking. Really close game. Super close. I think I died. He was at 2 with a Sigil of Solace and Arsenal, so maybe not that close, but 2 very impactful Mind Warps took me off of the first just 4-card 17 and getting to keep an Arc Lightning and Arsenal. The second, not so impactful. It did just turn 3 cards that all worked very well together into 2 that did not. We got hit by Aether Spindle for 10. I was on AB0 at that point and had a hand of red, so I was not going to pitch into AB2 anyway. The big takeaway from this one is go first against Oscilio as Aurora. I had thought go second. We're racing. I just want to either block on turn 0 or pitch into Arcane Barrier, whatever, maybe set up. And no, Oscilio lists right now are on kind of a switchboard, so if they go first, then they play like a big spell list, which is what I died to. If they go second, they play kind of a Cheerios attack list, which is pretty shit, at least in my experience. The 2 games I played where I did have to go first, I did much, much better than the game where I went second. So that is the takeaway. I'm happy to have it. The goal that I set for myself today, trying to be non-objective based, trying to just focus on something I can control, which wins or losses is not one of those things. My plan was bring Aurora to a higher level event, get reps for calling Portland, and I feel like, that's what I did. My 2 losses today did just, the first to Kayo affirmed what I already thought about that matchup, which is go second, draw your good cards, balance of justice is strong. My loss to Oscilio taught me, go first. If nothing else, they will change their sideboard, or at least they should. If they don't, I think setting up on turn 0 is really powerful against the robot. But yeah, congrats to Steven for making the finals. Congrats to Majin for being the other finalist. Gonna go see what they are up to now. They're playing it out. Want to see what the gold foil is, and then we're getting Korean barbecue after. So thank you, Final Cut, for hosting this event. It was a lot of fun, as always. I sold my EA Rune Ranger for 2/3 of the cost of my entry, and in exchange got a foil Aurora. So good day for me, and talk to you all later. Take care.
So, I hope you get the whatever one you're using here, like the common one.
Oh, Flash Rebellion.
Yeah, that would be cool for you.
That would be something. He
Get-
beat me.
Steven Leva opening his first gold foil ever. He did it. He showed the world.
On Oscilio.
On Oscilio. No one will ever know, but we all believe him.
Conceded at the last moment.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Timing, really. Didn't know he would have already won the game.
He had lethal on board and he didn't see it.
Yeah.
You didn't see it.
Just decided.
The fool. This is backwards?
It is
Yeah,
backwards.
it is
Yeah,
backwards.
you could just flip it.
All right.
And here we go.
Courage.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
That's a playable one.
That's in this list.
That is.
Is it in this list?
You bet your ass.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
That's a real card. Regarding the changes I made to my deck list ahead of this Pro Quest, let's start by talking about the cuts. There's a lot that can be said about the Flicker Wisp combo equipment, and I touched on some of it in last week's video. I said it then, and I'll say it now. I don't think Crown of Dominion and Aether Ironweave are strong enough to warrant sideboard slots at this time. It's possible that the only way Aurora can ever outpace Dash.io post-Armory deck is with a combo high roll, in which case I would have no choice but to bring these back, but I've yet to see that. In the meantime, my hope is that Balance of Justice and Dyadic Carapace will be enough to buy us tempo in that matchup. I previously replaced Lightning Press with Photon Rush, the idea being that blocking for 3 and going bigger on combo turns was more important than pushing on hits and surprise damage, and I stand by half of that. The 3 points of life afforded by blocking with Rush can be critically important, but I've since found that there are more effective ways to make that happen. Second Strike is, in my opinion, the worst attack in our deck. It's great when it works, but is often inconsistent, especially if your local meta consists of a lot of defensive decks like Enigma and Florian, like mine does. I'm a believer in Sizzle, but wanted to try cutting it to enable more consistent, smaller hands as well as better play around Warmonger's Diplomacy, both enemy and friendly. And finally, Sigil of Lightning is a great enabler for Gone in a Flash and Flittering Charge, but I had often found that being able to block for 3 would have been more helpful in sustaining and setting up bigger future turns. All of that brings us to the new additions. Spellfray Tiara is back in the list specifically for Kayo. He didn't make an appearance at Final Cut, but I suspect that I may see him at my ProQuest this coming Saturday, and I don't mind spending a slot to increase my win rate against him. A single Fry takes the place of the 9th blue in my deck. I'm not sure that 9 blues are the minimum requirement to play Aurora effectively, and I want to continue testing a lower number. In place of a 3rd Heaven's Claws, Fry is a lightning starter that gets around Warmonger's Diplomacy and plays well with Snatch and Ravenous Rabble, where Sizzle does not. Lightning Press is back, and I'm sorry that I ever doubted it. I suspect that my problem with the card came from an imbalance of attack actions to non-attacks in the deck, and adding a few more press targets has been immensely helpful. Sigil of Solace comes recommended by both Sam Dando and Majin Bay, and is a lot more impactful than many players seem to give it credit for. The life gain is a sneaky way to mitigate arcane damage at the end of a game when your opponent thinks you can't cover their lethal, as well as a great card to stick into the arsenal to bait Command and Conquer and Plow Under. It also turns on Flittering Charge and Gone in a Flash. If you haven't played with Sigil yet, I suggest you do so now. Heaven's Claws have come in to replace Sigil of Lightning specifically to add more sustain and block value to the deck, which buys us time to find or even protect Arc Lightnings and Channel Lightning Valleys. And finally, a 1-of Poison the Well gives us a little counterplay to counter blessings, but to be honest, I'm not convinced that we even need this, though it seems like a fine inclusion for now. I'll be paying a lot of attention this week and next to the performance of Dash.io ahead of Worlds in November, and especially ahead of Calling Portland, which I'll be attending. Potential answers to Dio are a return to the combo equipment suite, or even Smashing Good Time, though, as I've said, I'm hopeful that we already have the answers to her in the form of Flicker Wisp, Balance of Justice, and Warmonger's Diplomacy. I'll be back soon with more gameplay reviews and Aurora deep dives later this week, but until the next time I see you on Daily Fab Gameplay, take care.